Welcome to another video of the Extreme Rebuild. In this one, I'm going to show you how I've designed a floor tray for the cart, because whilst the one I've received with the cart was in good condition, it wasn't really at the quality level which I'm going to bring the cart up to. So I really needed to design a new one. I really needed a new floor tray, and I've asked around a few companies and they said absolutely not a problem, but you have to send us an actual design of what is it we need to cut out for aluminium. So I'm going to go through the process of how I've taken the measurements, how I've designed it, and what the end result was on CAD. So yeah, let's jump into it. So here is a floor tray which came off the Extreme. As you can see, it's not actually in bad condition, but there's a couple of these dents in here. It's a little bit bent. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to use, but yeah, not for like a restoration, which I'm doing. So what I have done is, first of all, I've put this masking tape over it in the middle to basically mark the center line, which then helps me to take the measurements. And as you can see, I then started measuring the width of these different places. Now, in some parts it was really simple. For example, there is straight, there is straight, so you can see the straight edges, and up there. But in places like this, where it's curved, you can maybe see it better on the other side, it gets a little bit trickier. So what I have done is I've taken three measurements. First one is where the curvature starts, in sort of the middle point, or where it changes shape, and also at the end point. So I've taken loads of different measurements. As you can see, there's all sorts of different writings on here, including how, you know, wide this bit, what's the overall length, etc, etc. So all of these I've taken measurements off, and what I'm going to do now is go to the PC and actually put that into Fusion 360, because that's what I'm using for all of my designs, because I really like it. It's a really simple program. So yeah, let's move over to the PC. There's one thing which I think I have to cover, and that's, if you work with an existing floor tray like this, you need to be careful. In some cases, like in this one, it's not the original one, therefore it's not actually perfect. So I'll show you what I mean. So there's this line, which is actually that straight, and it's square to the center line. However, if you see here, so this is the folded up side, it goes all the way out to this like edge point. But if you follow that all the way through to the other side, it's a little bit further out. Not by much, but if you are actually designing something, of course, you're going to design it to perfection, and it's going to be exactly the same on both sides. So just be careful that in some cases, you don't necessarily have to go too mad on these measurements, because what you're going to measure from the existing one is not going to be perfect anyway. So as long as it's a good fit for the cart, and it's going to fit into the actual chassis itself, and it looks good, and both sides are the same, unlike on this one, then it'll be great. So this is Fusion 360. And this is in the sketch mode, so it's all two-dimensional. So that allows me to draw up the initial sketch of the floor tray. So what I've done so far is I've drawn up the actual center line, and also the width of each places. As you can remember, I've measured these different bits as to how wide they all are, and I just basically put that into the tool, and I've just drawn that up. Also the width of the folded up place, and wherever there's a curve, I've used this, which is a fit point spline, and that allowed me to basically put a dot in these different locations, and that creates a nice curve on the drawing. So I'm actually going to show you down here. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4 points which I've measured, and I'm just going to use this. So there, and hit enter. There you go, and that's drawn it for me. And everywhere else for a straight, it really is just as simple as just selecting the line command and just drawing a line between the two parts. So I've done all of that. Now what I need to do is to get rid of all the extra helper lines, because it makes it like an absolute mess, which I don't need, and also to get rid of these measurements, which I also don't need. and then you'll have a better idea or a better view of how this is actually going to look like. So let me just quickly delete them. There we go. So that looks more like a floor tray. I suppose if I was to delete this, you'll see it even better. And that one, and that one, and that one. Now what I need to do is I need to lengthen this because this is the top part where the folded up place is. So I'm going to use the extend command and also extend this. Now this still hasn't got any fillet on them. So you can see this is still like a sharp corner. So what I'm going to do is to use fillet on here, and I can actually adjust this to as much as I want it. So literally it's going to be the case of putting the floor tray next to this and then saying, okay, how curved this is on there. So I'm not going to do that right now. So I'm going to do all these small adjustments, and then I'll show you how the actual three-dimensional part is done. So I've applied all the fillets to the sketch itself, and this is the final result. Now in this case, this is nothing more than just a sketch. So what I had to do then, and this is something I've already done, so I'm just going to replay it down here, is to turn it into an actual piece of sheet metal, and that was done by using the flange command in Fusion. And as you can see, that's now a piece of aluminium which is in the shape of the floor tray itself. However, I still need to bend these two sides up. So the next thing to do was to go to create and to use the bend command. Now this is going to be using the line which I drawn in the sketch, and I'll show you how that actually worked because I already bent one side up, and then I'm going to do the other side. So if I replay that again, you'll see that this side has now been bent up. This is nothing more than just basically folding the sheet metal and bending that piece up. Now I have measured the original floor tray, and this bend itself comes into around 44 degrees. So I've not really gone too much into the detail of that, so I'm just going to go with 45 degrees. As you can see, I've actually done some calculations. So that was the alpha which we were looking for. So it was 16 millimeters on this side, 23 mil, which is the width of the bend itself, and that comes into 44.079. I'm not that clever how to use a calculator, but yeah, with that I've come up with the actual 44 or 45 degree angle. So I'm going to do the same now on the other side. So I'm just going to have to select the stationary side, which basically means the bit which is not going to be bent up. So with this, and I'll have to select what I'm actually wanting to fold up. Yeah, which is that wing, that little side, and with that I can actually change the angle. So you see there it's changing 70, etc. So then gone to 45 degrees. Boom. And with that, I have a floor tray. Let me zoom out. Woohoo! So that is how I've designed the floor tray for an Extreme. This is for the big triangle Extreme. Of course, it's not going to fit the medium or the small triangle. I'm not sure about the medium triangle, but definitely not the small triangle. So this is for the early Extreme. And this drawing itself will be exported and will be sent to the company who's actually going to be doing this for myself, and they're going to be doing the floor tray and turn this into reality. So that was it. I know it's not necessarily the most exciting thing to do in terms of karting, because of course driving a kart is the absolute top, especially when it comes to Formula E karts. But making a floor tray and making every piece of the cart absolutely immaculate, especially for myself, is really important. Those who've seen my other cart before know that I'm really into the tiny details, and everything needs to be absolutely perfect. So you know, project like this, you know, when I have to design something, when I need to create something, are actually quite exciting for myself, being an engineer. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and hope to see you on the next video. So yeah, take care. Bye.